Lord Kirkhope, symbolism is important in politics, isn't it? And Rishi Sunak, if he's in his constituency today, and we know he watches sometimes, good morning, Prime Minister, he wakes up this morning with a Labour mayor. That doesn't bode well for the Prime Minister, does it?
Well, I mean, first of all, I congratulate David on winning. He worked very hard, but I also want to congratulate Keane Duncan, our candidate, who also put in, I thought, a very spirited and personal campaign here. And because we now have York and North Yorkshire, inevitably this was always going to be an interesting result, however it fell. And I think that, obviously, I'm very disappointed at the result, but nevertheless, it was an awful lot of work on all sides here, and it's just the way the thing has crumbled.
You cannot look at any of those local election results and say the Conservatives are on course for victory at the general election, surely, can you?
Well, I can't say that they're not on course for victory either, because I look back on a few years, as you know, Tim, I've been around a few years, and if you use local elections as the determinant of what is going to happen in a general election, you are making a very serious mistake. Both the Labour Party coming into government or going out of government, or ourselves in the same way, I think the local elections, obviously an indication of unpopularity. I mean, the government is not popular at the moment for a whole load of reasons, but I think making a suggestion that the local elections are going to be the way the general election will pan out is a little bit over the top.
Will Rishi Sunak face a leadership challenge?
Well, I hope not. I hope not. I see no reason. And of course, in a way, I suspect one of the reasons why our unpopularity is so obvious to the public, in a way, is the fact that the party, for reasons which beyond me, as a former whip, is not totally unified. There are too many factions at the moment, and they're going to have to concentrate their minds with these results as well. But they're going to have to concentrate their minds on getting back to the basics, and then we will see what happens when we get towards the general election.
Back to basics, that was a slogan under John Major's government. It didn't end well, did it?
Oh, well, John Major did very well, actually, as a Prime Minister. He won an election in '92 when everyone thought he was going to lose, and that might be an indicator of where we're going right now.
Well, look, you backfired massively, that plan, didn't it, from Keane Duncan to buy and restore the Grand Hotel?
Actually, having seen that video again, I must admit he brought a lot of interest and excitement into the campaign, and that's actually partly the reason why...
Why didn't voters buy it?
Well, it wasn't that put the voters off, frankly, I'm pretty sure. I think his ideas for a development corporation, I was one of the architects of the original development corporations around this country, including here in Leeds. So I know that they're a good idea. I mean, David claims in his manifesto he's going to improve the A64. We all agree that has to happen, towards Scarborough. He's also interested in police and community things, as indeed was Keane. And I know you've got a brother, I think, David, in the police force.
Yeah.
And I think there is a lot that can be done. David will, I hope, do it on behalf of all of us. But Keane actually should be congratulated because he did actually make the campaign interesting. And when you get down to the levels, from the national to the mayoral levels, it's important that the mayors themselves stamp their own individual interests.
One right-of-centre website likened him to Karl Marx. I mean, Conservative voters, I'm talking about small C Conservative voters, are very suspicious of big pledges, aren't they?
Well, I mean, I'm always suspicious of big pledges, whether I'm a small Conservative or rather too big a Conservative, I don't know really. But the point I'm getting at is that, and he was attacked actually by some people who thought that what he was talking about was a little to the left. My view is that when you're the mayor, you're going to do things for everybody and not just for a select little group with TikTok or with their own little X things or whatever it is.
Well, I'm glad you're in touch with the TikTok generation at least. But David, Timothy Kirkhope, what does the rise in independence say about the state of politics right now? I mean, I would interpret it as many people are deeply unhappy with the promises made and indeed broken by the main parties.
No, but I've already differentiated between local government elections and national elections, general elections. But I think it's inevitable at local elections that we are going to get independents standing, affecting our party, but also at the moment. I mean, Kirklees, for instance, lost to Labour. It's a big council. It's a very big shock for them, I know, in Yorkshire. But I mean, Atira and indeed the young people we saw from Hull just a little while ago, it's very encouraging. To me, as a bit longer in the tooth, as it were, in politics, I really am very happy. I mean, regardless of the political stance you may take, I'm very happy to see so many younger people coming into politics, because without that, we're all sunk, really.
When are we going to see that general election, Lord Kirkhope? What whispers are you picking up?
We're going to see it in the next few months, as the Prime Minister has said. But I do think it's important, actually, from those local elections. And I'm not sitting here, there's no way that I can say that it's been a wonderful, wonderful week for the Tory party. But I will say very strongly that Andy Street, who I personally know, losing in the West Midlands was a great shame, but Andy's remarks, I think, should be taken on board, and that is that we should not be tempted as a party now to try and move to a more extreme position in order to try and win. We've got to remain a centrist party with our basic principles in place, and I'm sure if we do that, I think we've got a very good chance of winning that election.